This chart plots birth records for the name Lowell. It hits a peak in 1931 at rank 316, then goes into a long, quiet slide to the bottom by 2023. Names typically plummet from scandals, but this is a deliberate 90-year fade. What makes this erosion unusual is the sheer cultural infrastructure attached to the name. For decades, it carried an immense intellectual weight in American society. How does a title backed by sprawling dynasties and vast influence almost completely vanish from our modern birth records? You can see its legacy written into the physical landscape. Take Lowell, Massachusetts. It is the largest U.S. city named after a single person. Yet, despite having nearly 115,000 residents walking those streets today, you'd be hard-pressed to find a single child named Lowell in a modern kindergarten classroom. To understand the anomaly, we look at the people who built the brand. A specific family dynasty demanded literary, scientific, and media dominance. Choosing this name for a child during its peak was a deliberate cultural signal to project status, intelligence, and a grounded heritage. The roots derive from the Old English personal name Lowell, which translates into something surprisingly warm, a dear friend or beloved warrior. After the Norman conquest, it evolved into a French surname. When European merchants eventually sailed for the Americas, the name crossed the Atlantic with them. By the 17th century, the Lowell family had firmly established themselves as prominent merchants in New England, specifically in Massachusetts. This deep history gave it the distinct weight of a surname turned given name. It suggested a lineage of tradition, giving anyone who bore it a sophisticated presence before they even spoke. That prestige was earned through real cultural output. First came the literary pillar, anchored by the famous fireside poet James Russell Lowell, and later the 4-time Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Robert Lowell. Then came the scientific pillar. Percival Lowell was a prominent American astronomer who founded his own observatory in Arizona. He dedicated his career to studying Mars, proposing the lines on the planet's surface were a network of artificial canals. Though eventually disproven, it captivated the public, permanently linking the name to astronomical intellect. Finally, there was the media pillar. Broadcaster Lowell Thomas brought the name directly into American living rooms with his massive daily radio news program. When you combine these 3 pillars, the arts, the sciences, and the media, you create an inescapable cultural synergy. That saturation drove the name straight to its zenith in the early 1930s. But cultural saturation rarely lasts. As the mid-20th century progressed, parental taste shifted away from old-fashioned aristocratic surnames toward newer trends. Without a fresh generation of prominent figures to continuously update its image, the name couldn't maintain its grip on the mainstream. It slowly lost its momentum. Looking back at the data, you can see exactly where it falls off the main charts. After 1970, it flattens out entirely, hovering around the bottom of the registry, with just a few dozen births a year. Lowell simply settled into a new, specialized category, shifting from a common household name to a rare marker of distinction. Dropping completely off the popularity charts is arguably its greatest asset today. It carries an atmosphere of quiet intellectualism and gentle strength, maintaining a distinct American heritage feel without sounding overused. For modern parents seeking something familiar but entirely removed from current fast fashion naming cycles, it offers a sophisticated alternative. It survives as a unique bridge, honoring its ancient roots as a beloved warrior, while securing a future built on quiet, understated style.